Let's work. Yo, it's go time, showtime, never backing down time. One shot, yo, make it count, yo. Crunch time, shine time, make this moment my time. Get a grip, yo, ready, set, go. We bring the thunder. Bring the thunder. Let's work. Bring the thunder. Let's go. Bring the thunder. Let's work. Bring the thunder. Let's go. Yeah, it's my time, yo time. Step into the spotlight. Get lit, yo. Let yourself go. Our time, high time. Gotta go big time. This is it, yo. Never take no fight time. Grind time. Take it to the street time. Turn the roof off. Get loco. Game time, win time. We gon' bring it home time. No regrets now. Let it all go. We bring the thunder. Bring the thunder. Let's work. Bring the thunder.
Well, good evening and welcome to Mountain Bears. I'm Aeson Knight. Of course, with tonight is the Techie with the mostest. Techy Joe, how are you, darling?
Well, doing pretty well, but I'm not sure we're streaming out to Facebook. So if you guys are on Facebook, please let us know if you're seeing this. Yeah, we hit that button just a second, I think, too late.
No, they're having streaming issues.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Well, that just
Let me go and I will confirm that we are there.
Yeah, well, I hit the go live button and it was immediately popping.
Correct.
Sorry, we're unable to stream. And I was like, no!
Yeah.
Like,
Is there normal people into chat? No, they're not.
No,
All
I think we may have to drop out and come back in. So if you're watching us on LinkedIn or YouTube, we do apologize. I know that's going to be a mess, but some days.
Streaming Facebook. This may be an issue on the Facebook end. It is possible the stream was ended or deleted on Facebook. We keep trying to let you know. If it's resolved, please check Facebook to ensure the streaming. Alright. We may need to do what I call multi-pack and just give me a minute to get everything moving.
Okay, so yeah, anyway, so fun on a Friday, you know?
It is always fun on a Friday.
We try.
And it is always interesting. It has been a really amazing Friday.
Yeah.
Just spend time
No,
with
I don't think we're
Mama.
up anywhere. Yeah, we're totally not up any. I shouldn't say anywhere. Like LinkedIn, YouTube, I think you guys are seeing us and life is good. So if you're on either platform, feel free, say hello. Granted, we show 0 viewers at the moment, so
Right. Because most of our audience is over on Facebook. Here we
a
go.
lot are.
Yeah, it's time to bullet them out. Let me get the owl up. Send out the carrier pigeons.
Yeah, we're trying, guys. We'll get you there in just a minute. I know a couple of them are probably like, where is my live stream?
Yeah.
I want my live stream. I want my live stream.
Well, they can come join us over on YouTube. We can happily stream to YouTube. And that's where we're going to be streaming at tonight. And I've got to get the bulletin sent out.
Oh, no. Alrighty. So, anyway, yeah. Oh, and celebrating 13 years of professionalism.
Yes, 13 years of. Oh, fuck. Here we go again, George.
You know, every episode is its own special ride.
Yeah, sometimes with
Pass it up, buckle in. We do what we can, you know. But yeah. You know, it is weird the things that can go sideways.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, God forbid, at least it's not flipping blog talk.
Right.
You know? Because that was its own experience.
Mm-hmm.
That was I'm not saying that, every episode we don't have some glitch somewhere. We pretty much do. But now, when we were on
Run
Blog
T.
Talk, that was like a never-ending glitch bonanza.
Right.
Like, that was a coin toss, and it was like a weighted coin as to whether we were going to be on for air for any shows. Because we so often got stuck in that, like, are you kidding me? It's not going to go live moment. Like,
Right.
we just every week or like every episode, it was like, come on, man.
Well, it has been
Like,
tweeted, it has been shouted, it is going to get posted over on our carrier pigeon. My baristas are about ready to get a text message of, hello, we're over here.
hi. Yeah, Facebook's having a moment. Well, or we're having a moment with Facebook. It could very well be our fault. There was a moment where, like, it was right there. It was already giving us the warning, like, you need to go live now.
Right.
And I thought I caught it in time. So that could very well be us. So we apologize. And I know for those of you joining us for the first time on like YouTube or LinkedIn, hi. And no, it's normally not like this.
No, we normally run a professional ship around here. Real professional. Close to
I
actually.
Yes, Skipper. Yes. Now, excuse me. I have to go help out the professor and what I thought it was funny.
No, it is not letting us stream to Facebook.
Wow. Facebook just went, no.
Well, this megaplex is about fun as can be. I'm telling you.
Oh, 2021. And, like, this is kind of good for December of 2021.
Right.
Like, come on. I think everyone, like, has been there this last 2 years. Like, it has been a roller coaster ride. Hey, we've got viewer. Hi, viewer.
If you are seeing us, please let us know, because of course StreamYard is having issues.
Yes.
There's Ashley. Hello, Dark
There we go.
Heights.
I think that's Brenda. That's
I don't know
Brenda.
who it is. Just hi.
I think it's Brenda. Either that or it's Shannon.
Yeah.
It's Shannon. Okay. Sorry, I had to rethink. I was like, no, that's not how, like, Brenda comes in. Never mind.
Yeah.
What was I thinking?
Sorry to pull you out of the barista chat room. Facebook's being a dick.
Well,
and yes, I can say that
sorry.
on this show.
Meta is being a dick.
Well, the Meta universe needs to go see Second Life, because at least Second Life handles their shit.
Hey, we only have a few weeks left. We got to get that Second Life live stream up.
I know. It's going to be a Mountain Bears episode.
I know. Like, we kept talking we were going to do that, and we haven't done that yet.
I know, but we're going to do it soon. That will be interesting.
Okay, so we have the bio mother-in-law and a few more with Ashley tonight. Awesome.
Hello, bio mother-in-law. How are you? Hello, everyone.
Because we got so confused last time.
You got confused. I'm looking at different people. What's your problem here?
I'm sorry. Technically, you talked to Ashley. Like, I talked to Ashley during live streams. You talk to Ashley. Like, you have more of the family tree. I'm just aware of, like, there's Ashley, a mother-in-law, baby guest, and like that. Like, I'm getting snippet of, like, the family tree. I don't know all this.
Right.
Like, of course, then again, I could be pure evil and go bio mother-in-law and mother-in-law. Y'all should be asking about how he knows there are two of you distinctly. Like, what's she been talking about?
Nothing she's been talking about. It's just psychic energy.
I'm sorry. I'm starting shit on a Friday night.
Yeah,
That's where I'm
at. it to on a Friday. You really want on a Friday leading into eclipse. You're really going to get it.
Yeah, I'm starting shit. I'm just like,
thank you, Ashley. It's not exactly where I wanted it at, but it's okay.
like I'm going. I feel like I'm channeling Pink tonight. Really. So what? I'm still a rock star. Okay. Anyway.
Yeah.
Sorry, I felt my neck pop like 10 times with that, and I'm like, yeah, let's
Don't
stop.
be doing that. Just don't be doing that. You popping your neck is not a good thing, okay?
Oh, all questions are asked with permission. Lol. Bye, John. Oh, so Ashley is ready. Well, Ashley's mother-in-law is ready.
I always like it when she's ready. Let me find something that I want to talk about. And then after that, we will go in and we will do our normal questions between the things. We got big news today. For a very long time.
Mm-hmm. Big news today.
Yeah, very big news today. First thing this morning.
Yeah, I know. That was so weird. You're like, what the fuck? No. And I'm like, oh man, how fucked is the bank account? Like, the reaction, I couldn't gauge where you were. Like, I couldn't gauge. I was trying to figure this out. I was like, what is wrong with you, and how bad is my day gonna suck? No, seriously, that's like how you were reacting. I was like, this is bad. Whatever it is bad. Right. And it wasn't. It was good. It was good. It was very good news.
Very, very good news. We have very, very much been able to get something that I didn't think was profitable. Like, they had turned us down forever.
Mm-hmm.
For those that are in the know, they know a lot of times that psychics in general are kind of stuck in one vein of existence. We were stuck in the you can only use PayPal or a very high, 20% cut on a credit card processor, and we had
third-party merchant. Yeah, third-party merchant services provider.
Yes.
It was a mess. Well, and all this came down to effectively the individual services put you guys in very distinct categories.
Mm-hmm.
Like, psychics are under occult services, or occult providers, or occult whatever. Occult is where it keeps falling. And then you have, like, sex workers. Then you have, like, on and on and on. And functionally, what the banks were doing were like shoving y'all all together and being like, fuck no, we ain't touching this. We're not dealing with occult services. We're not dealing with sex workers. We're not dealing with debt collectors. We are not dealing with. And like, if your business falls into any of those, screw you and the horse you rode in on. We're not getting into it. You're, in, like, as a total industry, because you got to keep in mind, like, for a very long time, these were small industries in and of themselves. Mm-hmm. So you had a very small number of total merchants in those categories. And what would fundamentally happen is, for like every, like, say, 100 good ones, there's like 3 or 4 bad apples.
Right.
Somewhere in there, statistically. Okay, that's not like normal processing. And usually those bad ones made up the bulk majority of charges.
Right.
Because this is why they're bad. This is why they're a problem. Is, $9,000 holy rocks, for Christ's sake. Really stands out in a sea of, but because it was, like, those 3 or 4 bad ones had so much volume and so many, created so much problem for the category, the banks were like, nope, we're not doing that.
Right. And it was just problematic over and over again. And then we had companies jump in, jump out, jump around, like Etsy and everything else.
Yeah, Etsy's been doing the fucking hokey pokey on this.
Well, they've been doing and this is stuff that, you know, as someone who's been in this business for as long as I see it all the time. Company jumps in, they try it, they get burned, they jump out because 3 or 4 bad potatoes. So the Wire produced an article on the day, it's on 10/29/2021, calling Stripe out for the discrimination against witches and calling payment processing companies decide who can be empowered to buy and sell online, and their policies show gross misunderstanding of the metaphysical practitioners. Apparently, this was their last straw. Now, I'd been previously working with and communicating with Stripe, and I'm like, you do this for other companies. You do it for larger companies. Like when Bitwine was built and Google bills through Stripe, and before Google started its own payment system, it all went through Stripe. So there was a massive issue there of, okay, so you'll do it for a platform, but you won't do it for little old me. So, you know, and I had been told in, I believe it was November, that they were working on something. Okay. So in one of the groups today, I'm checking my alerts, and I see in November 2021, after a publication of this article, Stripe updated its policies to help U.S.-based psychics, occult, and metaphysical services use its platform and its products. Previously, such businesses were not supported by Stripe's financial partners in the U.S. Per the company, it found a new financial partner to allow these businesses and Stripe, who will no longer remove shops that fit under the description of psychic service listings, as so long as there are no other violations of its terms of service.
Yeah. So, which is where it's always needed to be. And more importantly, can we talk about the fact they finally quit calling you guys occult services or the occult?
Right.
Like, because that's been the repetitive thing, is like a lot of this looked like very bad, like, you know, not only was it like, okay, we're going to discriminate against you, and not that all discrimination is bad, but like being discriminating is one thing versus discriminating against. Right. But it wasn't just that they were being discriminating and going, look, this is a problematic industry. They were then going one step further.
Right.
And it's like, hi, we're not even going to be kind enough to call you what you are. Right. You know, psychics, metaphysics, and, you know, we're not even going to do that. We're going to use the most, like, hardcore term possible to describe you. So that, you know, literally we're talking about psychics, metaphysics, you know, those things, but we're going to use the word occult so everyone thinks you're having, you know, like baby sacrifice to Satan.
Right.
And that's an indefensible.
Exactly.
And it's like, no, we're not occult.
So what does this mean for my customers? My customers that don't want to use PayPal no longer have to use PayPal. This morning we enabled Stripe on our appointment booking site. We will be enabling Stripe on other things throughout this weekend and to the next week, so that if you want to order an email reading, you're no longer required to have a PayPal account. You can now order your reading, get your reading delivered, and it's going to be processed through your card. You're going to see other psychics making these moves, because we were all celebrating this action. You know, there is still a company out there that needs to be called on to act onto the carpet, and that is Square and Cash App.
Yeah, which are interrelated.
They're the same company.
Well, and I think getting Stripe on board is the point in which we can, like, because now that's 2 of the most popular small business servicers. Because that's where this all becomes a problem, is if you're selling, like right now, you can sell fucking LuLaRoe on every fucking payment processor.
Right.
No one gives a shit that you're selling, pants.
Right.
No one
crappy
cares.
leggings.
Right. Well, and quality of product notwithstanding, no one cares what you're selling. No one cares why you're selling it. No one really cares about your chargebacks because, again, not that bad, and the prices are pretty fixed. Most of this has come in because there are elements in this industry, and we have talked about them, and we try to warn you guys about them all the time. We have had guests on, Corby especially, Corby Mitlid, who has talked about this in depth,
right?
And has literally written the book on how to avoid this bullshit. Because
and Dottie is getting ready. Has got a video coming out. I believe it's next week about some of the stuff that she has found. So this is a problem in our industry. This is a problem in not only in our industry, but in a lot of different industries. It's like adult entertainers. There's a problem when adult entertainers become accountants as soon as they come off the stage. These are issues and things. We have doctors all the time that go rogue, that do stupid shit like do not prescribe proper medication. These are things that we
take cash for scripts and don't ever see patients. That was the whole pill mill problem, is that literally people were going in and telling doctors for a cash payment for services how many pills to write.
Right.
That was the pill mill problem in a lot of areas, is these doctors, like there were doctors that had, pain patients who needed their scripts and they were working with them appropriately as physicians and ran a pain management clinic. There were also some worst of the worst pain pill mills, which were literally operating on a strict cash basis. They don't file insurance. They don't care about your insurance. Your cash payment only. To see a physician for 5 minutes at most, and you literally told them what you wanted. And sky's the limit. We don't care. You paid your money up front. By God, we'll write you whatever you want. You need like 12 Loratab at max dose per day. Fine.
Yeah.
Huh. What? No. That's insane.
Right. So y'all guys can be looking for those payment changes for my site and my affiliated sites over the next 2 weeks, because we will be doing a lot of work to get this improved. We're going to be using it and abusing it because we worked really hard to get this back in play. We worked this really hard to get this moving, and we're very happy with Stripe for finally stopping their discriminational practices.
Oh, hell yeah. And yeah, because this isn't just about your business specifically. This is literally a game changer for the industry. Because I don't know how many of y'all have used PayPal, but let me tell you, PayPal's real bitchy about you not having a PayPal account and trying to run a credit card payment. No. Like, it will sit there and do everything it can to be like, are you sure you don't want some of our PayPal crack? No. Like, please take the PayPal crack. Like, do a line. Just a line. It'll be fine. Do a line. Right. Is how PayPal works their product into you feeling like you have to sign up.
Right.
And it's
but it's the
someone just wants to make one
us. As the user, or as the company using PayPal, we're, pretty locked in there, and it's like have to mind our P's and Q's and can only do certain things, and do a large, if someone buys my platinum package, I have to wait 2 months for the money.
Yeah. Well, and again, every processor has its issues, and every industry faces its own restrictions. Right. Like, some are like, it's no big deal. We get your business, we get your payments, we get it.
Right.
Like, I get treated, and I will say this outright. As an IT service provider, I basically get the keys to the golden fucking kingdom. They know
Right.
that my invoices are going to be all over the map.
Mhm.
Like, it may be $20, it may be like $2,000,
Mhm.
depending upon what all I'm providing or doing or ordering for a client, or who the client is. Are they a business? Are they a person? Like, what's like? It's all over the map.
Right.
And as far as my account, like, here's your money. Like, we feel pretty confident you're legit. And
Right.
I'm like, wow, that was way too easy.
Right.
Like, because it is. It like literally run it as and I'm not telling someone how to circumvent PayPal, and I'll tell you now, if you do it and you get busted doing it, oh, your life's gonna suck. But literally, if you're running a legitimate IT business, I know that one specifically, and I'm sure many other businesses hit the same thing, that certain business categories, they don't look at you twice.
Right.
They're just like, okay, don't do anything crazy.
Exactly.
Have a nice day. We're going to assume your shit's legit.
Right.
And then you go in, you are legitimate. You've been in business for years. You have a long ass resume. You have clients that could, testimonials out the ass for
I
your
have clients
services.
from 2003 currently in the PayPal system. That is
Right.
when I opened my PayPal.
And they still, like, sometimes depending upon what a client tries to purchase from you, or how much stuff they try to purchase at once, you kind of have to sit there like, please, can I have my money now? Like,
Yeah.
and it's ridiculous.
It is.
Like,
It is. All right. So Miss Ashley's got a question.
yes, Ashley does. Well, actually, mother-in-law has questions. So
Awesome.
Ashley's mother-in-law, 92971, is Megamind still vibing with me?
I feel he is, but I feel like he's wanting some chasing here, and it's like, nah. You just sit back and let him come towards you, honey.
There you go. Oh, and Ashley, you were having to wrangle the baby guest. Were you good after last episode? I know you had to go back and watch to follow up on your question. Like, that was Tuesday. That was right towards the end of the show when we finally got hers, but
Yeah, I was waiting for the other shoe to drop, and I think it's still going to rock its way.
yeah.
Awesome. Let's segment off.
Okay, I was.
So, Michigan, you're doing something new. I'm liking this new one.
Oh, hell, where are we?
U.S. Marshals join the Oakland County fugitive team in search for parents of the alleged Oxford shooter. Yes, they
Oh,
are
wow.
going after his parents. Search comes after James and Jennifer Cumberly of Oxford were charged with 4 counts of involuntary manslaughter in the death of the 4 students at the Oxford County by the
Oakland
Oxford
County.
County prosecutor.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Apparently, at one point on Friday, authorities say each parent had stopped responding to their attorneys.
Yeah.
And the action of fleeing and ignoring their attorneys adds weight to the charges. It's a bad choice. Like, every lawyer will tell you, this is a bad choice.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't think it adds weight to the charges. Well, I mean, it's probably going to add additional charges. Like, let's clarify what I think that prosecutor actually should be meaning.
Right.
Is because, now you've got a bigger problem. Like, you don't want to be running.
Right.
Like, yeah.
Yeah. But apparently they left on the night of the tragedy of the shooting. of their own volition. They are returning to the area to be arraigned. They are not fleeing from law enforcement, despite recent comments to news media. Really? Let's see. This is Friday. This happened Tuesday. We didn't cover it because it was still developing when we went to air, and I won't cover something that is not fully formed because, I'm not Fox News. By Friday evening, federal marshals said they were adapting to the case of searching for Jamie and Jeremy Cumberly and would be working in conjunction with Oakland County Sheriff's Department.
Well, but then again, I mean, two things going on there. If I find it interesting they fled the area, though I can understand that to some area, or to some degree. Like, there can be a lot of public backlash,
Right.
in these situations. I can understand like being afraid and wanting to get out of this. In terms of like, you don't want to get killed in the midst of all this. Just the villagers are at the gates with the pitchforks.
Mm-hmm.
At the same time, like, there's not much else their attorneys can say.
Right.
Other than to try to, as well as they can, counsel their clients to please don't do stupid shit while I go run interference with a police department that is like this close to declaring you a fugitive.
Right.
So that you can meaningfully turn yourself in. Meanwhile, what else can a police department do except, basically throw it out there like that? Like, that's their hammer. Like, that's the stick to the carrot.
Right.
We politely asked you to come in. You didn't show up for that. So yeah.
Right.
But yeah, court closed on Friday without sightings of the Crumbleys.
Yeah. But what gets me and what gets me in general is they knew their son was going to do this. Like, it has been confirmed that the mother sent a do not do this text to their son, but did not call the principal's office and say, my son has guns, please go get him.
I don't know if they were suffering from a delusion they were going to be able to stop this, that they were going to be able to get their child to just not do this. And if we keep our mouth shut, then maybe we can get him help without getting him a record.
Right.
And I mean, I think that would be any parent's first impulse, is to try to stop their child from doing something that is going to affect the rest of their lives.
Right.
And wanting to be optimistic that they can make that happen.
Right.
But unfortunately, I mean, this is what happens though. Like, you traded the lives of 4 people.
Right.
For that opportunity for your child to have a come to Jesus and figure it the fuck out.
Right.
That this is a bad, horrible life choice that you do not want to do. And I'm trying to salvage this.
Right.
And that child went on to do this. I'm still going to call him a child at 15. I know, basically an adult. Still.
Yeah, and I mean, this case is a very long case. Like, they had already been met with the parents. The parents had already met with the school. The school told them to have him in counseling within 48 hours. They failed to ask their son about the gun and check his backpack and resist the idea of their son leaving the school at any time, and said the teen returned to class and shot sequentially occurred. Really?
I mean, it's layers of problems. It's layers of problems. I mean, part of me, again, I always want to assume the best possible. Like, I mean, they could be totally shit parents who are like, fuck it, I don't care, shoot your classmates, I don't give a shit. May have been their whole parenting. I would like to take it from a, let's assume the best of them.
Right.
That their real focus was, I don't want you to do this, but I also don't want you to like have a criminal record for guns on school property that's going to blow up a lot of things in your life because you're in crisis and made a shit boatload ton of bad choices. Again, this is unfortunately where that like trying to balance between doing what's best for your child and doing what keeps everyone else's child or children alive, it can be a real nightmare.
Especially
like, even
since,
if you're well-intentioned.
The dad posted up on his social media Black Friday buy, just got my new beauty.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the gun that his son used for the shooting.
Yeah. I want to sit here and go, like, okay, this is a father who's a little bit of a gun enthusiast, who, like a lot of gun owners, unfortunately, can't understand that, like, kids and guns don't mix. Like, you gotta lock that shit up. Lock it down. Like, supervise the fuck out of this shit.
No, keep it up, keep it put up. Now, I'm a very much right to own gun, right to use gun, right to carry gun person. Sensible guns, not armament of war, but guns.
Right. Yeah, it's...
Yeah. This is insane.
Yeah.
This is insane. This has been insane. This is continuing to be insane. I'm glad that Michigan's standing up. Now, there's a lot of things Michigan does that I don't like. There are some things that I've seen Michigan do, and I'm like, are you nuts? What planet of the Republicans have you fell off of? This one, however, good job, Michigan. Get them.
Yeah.
Because this was literally, the parents knew, the teacher knew, the teacher told the parents and gave them 48 hours to get him into counseling. Why he was allowed to return to the classroom is beyond me. Why, as a gun owner, that my weapon would be available to anyone having a mental challenge is beyond me.
Well, and I mean, just across the board, like, and again, this may also be an issue of accessibility of mental health. Right. Like, this teacher is sitting here putting a 48-hour deadline on it.
Right.
Have you tried to deal with the mental health system and on a timeline and be like, hi, I need an appointment within 48 hours? I.e., that's typically where I think most people are thinking that, you know, what the teacher's asking for is going to be closer to, like, set him up with counseling and get him into an appointment with a counselor this week, only for them to find out that, no, good luck finding a counselor that has an opening in the next 48 hours.
Well, that's
more so.
You're not getting a timeline. They have a meeting with the parent. They ship the boy back to the classroom.
Right.
The next day, the shooting happens. Why he was not put out of school until he had gotten into therapy or counseling is beyond me. Why? And this is with other schools, like suspending students and expelling students over fingernail clippers and Tylenol. Okay. Why, as a responsible gun owner, that man did not walk out of that school, walk into his home, take his weapons, and lock them up or remove them from the home until they got the stabilization with the son?
Well, and fundamentally, I'm seeing multiple issues there. And the first one is, I think more so these are parents who just didn't think this was a reality, that everyone was blowing it out of proportion, or hoping they were. Like, that seems to be a common recurrent theme.
Right.
Is a lot of the parents who had warning signs kept wanting to think that everyone was overblowing what the reality was.
Right.
Overreacting. And it looks like even the school was trying to go with a theory that, okay, and if we're overreacting, get him back in the classroom.
Right.
Like, I see that as a double fail. One, as, you know, the responsible gun-owning parents, you really should have been taking this, at least every precaution you could take.
Right.
Even if you think it's overblown, take the precaution. It's no big deal.
Right.
Like, I'm sure you have a friend, a buddy, a family member, a mom, a dad, someone that you could have gathered your guns up and been like, Mom, Dad, I don't know, or, best friend, whatever. I don't know what the hell's going on right now, but can I store these here for a few days? At least till we know what's going on. At least till we know what's going on.
Right.
And then I'll make other arrangements from there.
Right.
Like, if you're uncomfortable with them being here long term, I've got to get them out of my house. I totally see that. But then again, the bigger focus may have been trying to get him into counseling and not understanding that, like, but until then, put up the fucking weapons.
Exactly.
And get them out of the way. Like, I'm afraid that was could also be one of those moments where the parents focused on the wrong end of the equation.
Well, like, not only that, but I'm just looking at the father and the responsible as a gun owner. We've been in a relationship, going on 4 years now?
Yeah.
Have you met Bessie?
No.
I've carried Bessie with us. It's put up. You aren't waving it around on Facebook. No. That's not responsible.
Right. And I get that. There's a lot of irresponsibility here. I'm just, again, trying to go best possible light. Were these parents focused on the wrong part of the situation? Not the gun-related threat, but the demand to get him into counseling. Were sitting there having their own struggle to try to make that happen.
Right.
While two, trying to figure out what the fuck with their kid. Right. Without ever processing, oh shit. There's a much bigger threat here, which is we have guns all over this fucking house. Right. That kind of moment where you realize, oh fuck. Sort of what I would call like the new baby experience.
Right.
Of you start getting worried about all the things baby can hurt themselves on that you forget to put all the fucking outlet covers in. You forget to lock all this stuff, so you just hold the child and, not thinking that, that doesn't work eternally.
No.
Like, at some point, the child's going to walk and start moving and going places, and you can't keep them in that playpen forever.
Right.
Like, you're trying to keep them safe. I see what you're doing here, but you have a whole house full of hazards. Like, you got knives dangling off of counters. You got pot handles hanging off the stove. You got hot eyes on, whatever. It's a household full of disaster, and you keep thinking, if I keep the kid in a playpen, it'll all be great. And then the kid gets out.
Right.
And it's like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
Like, and it's a little kid horror show. Like, it looks like an evening between Wednesday and Pugsley Adams.
And that's understandable, but at the same time, it's ridiculous. Like, this is where I think we have to draw the line. This is where we have to say, nope, not happening. You done everything. Now, if that parent had done everything they could, if they had a lock on their gun that was fingerprint activated, if they had it in a locked safe, if they kept their ammo in a different location, if they checked that child when that teacher showed them the drawing on his desk that he had carved into his desk,
Mm-hmm.
if they had took that child and went right over to Pavilion or Bar H Fifth Floor or Cherry Hill, I would be like, the parents did everything they could. They literally done everything they could. These parents done jack shit nothing.
Arguably, yes. Again, I'm sitting here going, or they may not have had a clue what the hell to do next and needed to get their shit together.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, unfortunately, unintelligent people and people who don't, know how to handle situations are also parents.
Right.
I mean, you start factoring in, the political climate we've been in, the mindsets that have been espoused through news and articles and Facebook and wherever the fuck you get your opinions from.
Right.
There's a lot of unsophisticated people sitting out here now in the world
Right.
who think this is all nanny state bullshit.
Right.
And that, the fucking, liberals are at it again, fucking liberal teacher, fucking
Right.
overreacting because she's, a whiny bitch. It doesn't excuse it. It doesn't. But at the same time, unfortunately, it may be exactly where it came from.
Right.
Is that there's a certain level of callousness anymore to the suggestion that, oldest fucking adage in the world, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure.
Mm-hmm.
There's a really strong belief anymore that that's fake news. And it's like, no, it's not. It's really
belief, and there's a bigger problem. And here's the bigger problem. I have full, honest belief that if my grandnephew walked into his house and Bessie was sitting on the kitchen table, and the grandnephew's, 9? He's second grade. He wouldn't touch it. He wouldn't look at it. He wouldn't go near it.
Pretty much, yeah. I think he'd more so be like, what the hell?
Yeah. Why that here? That doesn't belong here. Okay. That's a problem with these parents have. They have not taught the respect of the weapon.
I mean, one, not that situation is going to happen in this house, like
Never.
a random list of disaster that would have to occur.
Right.
Like, basically, I think the only way that happens if, you were cleaning your gun, I was involved in a car accident, you had to get to a hospital in an emergency, got up from the table and left the house, and then in the chaos and confusion, either you and they, or they somehow ended up in the house. That would be the weirdo, horrific scenario, and even that I'm a little sketch on. Right. I still think you'd probably lock it up.
Oh yeah.
I'm not guaranteeing it. I'm just saying. I think more than likely
to be a lot of problems for that to ever occur. One, I don't clean my gun at the kitchen table. That's just bad parenting. But at the same time, there was no respect of the weapon taught. There was no ounce of prevention. If a counselor calls me and tells me, oh, my child is having a mental crisis and needs counseling within 48 hours, they're coming home.
Well, and again, that presupposes any of this was taken seriously or any of it viewed as anything other than fucking overreaction.
Right.
again, and that's kind of the inherent problem when you have a very specific group of people who thinks that the whole world is, this snowflake nightmare of like coddling and bullshit and whatever, and they've got this Wild West mentality,
right?
Like, yeah, unfortunately, like, again, it's not an excuse. It's like it's highlighting the issue. Is that you have a group of people that think all of this is bullshit.
Right.
And of course my child knows better than to do that. And of course, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, but you didn't lay any foundational groundwork. You just, I don't know, assumed a bunch of shit?
Right.
Like, what the hell? Like, I don't follow.
Right.
But again, those people exist. Like, let me tell you, average intelligence will scare the hell out of you.
All right.
Like, you really
let's swap.
All right.
I need a refill. All right. So the White House doctor is under fire.
Yeah. So, yeah. So, yeah. So, let's see. Sorry. Sean Connolly, the White House doctor for Trump, is facing fresh scrutiny over COVID test timeline. It's a little weird. So he had a positive COVID test in September 2020, 3 days before the first presidential debate. And there's questions about whether he had a duty to inform the public, including current President Joe Biden, about his test result.
Right.
Yeah, so it's being called the episode, or it's being referred to as the episode neatly illustrates the unusual position of a president's physician who is bound by law and ethics to protect his patient's privacy, but whose knowledge is also a matter of public interest.
Well, not only that, but it's a matter of national security. Here's the facts. This doctor, who's a yutz, lied to the American people, put the president's team, the vice president, and everybody in that studio, including the future president, the real qualified one, life's in danger for political move. He should have his medical license removed.
Well, and there are also those that would argue, this is like the problem sometimes I know that medical professionals get into. It's the ugly, sticky place called HIPAA. Of, like, being in that position in which you have knowledge that is pertaining to one patient that has the ability to dramatically affect the life of someone else and their health care. And how do you walk the fine line of telling someone without telling someone? And like, there are situations that occur like this all the time. Like when a physician knows that, say, one patient is HIV positive, is in a sexual relationship with another patient who's HIV negative, and there seems to not be a clear understanding about the first patient's HIV status. As a medical professional, technically, you can't do anything but highly encourage patient number 2, the HIV negative patient, in their options to protect themselves against STDs, but you can't do that in a way that suggests you know something they don't.
Right, but see, here's the problem, and this is the problem that comes with the White House doctor position. This is actually a very important position. He, at
Mm-hmm.
that time, could have, at any time, the White House doctor can relieve the president from his power.
Mm-hmm.
He can declare him incapable.
Then again, was he technically incapable of being president? That's going to be the fundamental argument, I think.
But the fundamental argument here is he had if he A did not get experimental drugs, B did not get everything else, he could have died from this.
Right. Well, I don't even think that's important necessarily. I mean,
Very
more
important.
so but at the points along the way.
Mm-hmm.
I think the argument's going to come down to if your argument is going to be that at any point he can relieve the president of duty,
Mm-hmm.
as in declare him unfit to be president, at least
Should have done that as a
temporarily.
mongrel, but okay.
Well, there's that. But no, even if you're going to try to sit there and declare him medically incapable of being president at this current time, I think you start having to ask the bigger question of, does COVID in and of itself pose enough impairment to the president,
Mm-hmm.
in and of itself, to the president, to affect his ability to be president? I'm not saying that what Trump did wasn't totally stupid, careless, reckless, irresponsible, whatever.
Right.
But not outside of his normal behavior.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome
to the table, Mika.
Hi, Mika. But was it actually, did it rise to the point? Because, again, he didn't do this because of COVID.
Right.
Like, COVID did not influence his decision-making. Like, this is part of his long-term, and we've had multiple presidents hide illness while in office. It's nothing new. This is an illness, however, that is highly communicable.
Right.
But does that decision, in and of itself, generate enough of a potential risk to others? Is that considered a reason he can relieve the president of duty? Right. Or does it have to rise to a level in which the president's impairment,
right,
because of the medical condition,
right,
is severe enough to influence the critical decision-making of the president?
Right.
Like, you get it if, like, a president is in a coma. Obviously. Right. There's no choice. You would get it if, we're talking about a president with severe dementia that can't even tell you that they're the president. His mini mental status exam wasn't all that impressive, but still, he knew who the fuck was president.
Now I'm questioning even if that was factual.
Well, I still joke on that.
That's the thing with this. We don't know about how deep this lie goes. What did he just lie about this test and fake another test? Did he lie? He's lied to us. Did he misuse his duties as president? Did he allow the president to influence his decision making as a medical official? I hope he loses his MDA. Point blank, he does not need it, and I don't believe that he is currently serving as White House doctor. But if he is, Biden needs a new one.
Yeah, I kind of doubt it. I mean, that's just, yeah. But I really struggle with the idea that he necessarily had a duty to inform the public in this one situation. Right. I still think what Trump did and was reprehensible.
Right.
To have a positive test result and still keep a full schedule. That was ridiculous. I don't know that it rises to the level necessarily. Like, one, it's not a sign of, a mental, like, he has a moral failing from hell, but that's not what a doctor's there for.
All right.
This wasn't any change in his mental status. Like, this is unfortunately the bastard that got elected.
Well, again, this could have took out the whole White House. This did take out the first family. This could have taken out the heads of our government.
Well, at least temporarily while they were sick, and it could have caused far larger effects.
Mm-hmm.
But again, I think you still have to sit here and go, like, but at what point? If we have a president with syphilis, if we have a president that had, like, where do you start drawing the lines?
When it could possibly affect the governmental situation. When it puts our nation at a security risk because we have no heads of government.
Mm-hmm. Well, but then theoretically, according to at least the rumors under the Reagan presidency, Reagan's doctor should have relieved him of duty as well. Like,
yes,
it's very suspect that Reagan's symptoms of dementia were growing ever more apparent during his own presidency, let alone his time afterwards. Trying to argue that it's really hard to argue that he wasn't impaired, at least during the last year or so of his presidency. But then again, like, that gets into the, like, I would see that first. That compromises a president's ability to process information and make sound decisions.
Right.
Like, if you can't be trusted to operate a bank account, I don't necessarily think you should be in charge of a country.
Right.
Like, at least that information should be made public, that this is the current status of our president, is incapable of operating a bank account.
You're right.
Because unfortunately that is what dementia does. You do not have the ability during brain death, which is what dementia is, to have sound logical decision making.
Right.
You don't.
Right. And we all know. And I feel like we all knew then too. Well, at least the older adults did, that Nancy was really running things. That's the problem.
I get the point. I'm just saying that wasn't the president-elect.
Right.
That was the first lady. And that wasn't technically how the show should have been run.
Right.
I'm not even inherently mad about anything she did on his behalf.
Right.
But that wasn't the deal. We didn't elect Nancy Reagan
I know.
to run the country.
I get that, and I'm saying that. But this was even more dangerous than that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
This could have took out the cabinet, because he met with his cabinet. This could have took out all the White House staff. This could have took out Secret Service, the heads of the military. This could have took out. I mean, the list just goes on and on here.
Well, and it kept getting worse and worse what he was doing, even once everyone knew what the situation was. It still continued to be bad and get worse. But to necessarily have a duty to inform the public, I would honestly think the president himself would have to be either mentally or physically incapacitated, at least to the point of inability to effectually do his job. As in, not able to comprehend the situations he's being presented with, which, granted, I don't know how you determine that with Trump, because he already couldn't. And that was before. Like that's on any given Tuesday. But then you turn around and was he physically impaired enough that he couldn't do his duty? Which then again, we saw him repeatedly making every effort to show himself being, physically capable. Which may have been in response to at least a perceived threat that could happen.
Right.
Is, if there was a risk that Conley would come forward, they were already setting the stage to make him look like a liar.
Well, again, this is a ridiculous. I'm glad that he is no longer the White House doctor. He was replaced January of 2021, days after the inauguration.
Good choice.
Peace. All right, so we have a Spotify listener question. So if you'll go ahead and read that.
We have a what?
I will put it to you in private chat.
Alrighty, I will take that in chat. Cool. All right, so we do have a question here. I'm mentally checking out of my relationship. Is there anything left worth saving? I want to feel like my husband wants me, and I'm just not feeling that way and haven't for months. I'm starting to become okay with the idea of us just co-parenting since neither of us are really doing anything to save the relationship.
Okay.
Ooh, that's
so
a horrible situation.
Looking at it, I feel like there's still a lot to save. Relationships go through ebb and flows. You're on an ebb. You're trying to re-identify yourself. Looking at it, there's been a lot of stress, a lot of problems, a lot of, all right, let's just talk about the children things. So yes, there is a lot to save there. There's a lot of things, however, you have to do to manage it. Part of that is being able to manage yourself, understand that these are natural feelings. I often say it. I wake up in the morning ready to pack the car and leave with the dogs. And by the end of the night, it's just like, okay, fine. I'm back to thinking he's amazing.
Well, and it's not like I don't have those moments either. Like, let me tell you, there are moments I'm standing here where it's like, I'm just going to grab my keys and walk out the door. I'm just going to grab my keys and walk out the door. I don't know that I'm leaving per se, but it's like, I want to go drive around for several long hours.
Right.
And then like 15 minutes later, it's like, okay, I'm good. I'm good. I just had to acknowledge I have the option.
Right.
And I'm a big fan of that, and that comes from especially my time as a caregiver. It's really hard to make good decisions when you feel trapped.
Right.
If you remove the cage door, slightly contrary to what is the or to like sort of the gilded cage phenomenon, when you remove the cage door, it's a lot easier. Like, it may be shitty for you to get out of the situation. It may be shitty for you to do this. It may be shitty, like, even of you as a human to make the choice. But that doesn't mean you're trapped.
Right. Nor does it mean that you're out of love with them, you don't care about them, you're just okay. Like, the relationship isn't dead. It's waning. My suggestions, if you want to start working on it, then you have to start working on you. It starts with you, getting comfortable with you, figuring out your needs, figuring out if your needs can be met by the other party, figuring out if you can actually be comfortable with you. Because you initially, especially when you start using the title husband, husbear, mama bear, whatever, that takes on a role, and that means that you have to figure out where you are with that role.
Yeah. Well, and something I don't know from experience, but I've seen too many times, I do have to say, kids, as much as we love them, as wonderful as they are, when you're co-parenting together, which a lot of couples fall into that trap, it's really hard to remember you have a relationship or even have the energy for a relationship outside of that situation
Right.
of co-parenting. And sometimes it's literally finding a way, as much as you love your kids, to get the fuckers out of your way so you can actually have time for each other, for the good of your relationship. And sometimes that goes with, you know what? They don't have to be the priority every day.
Right. Or for
Like
every hour. Sometimes
5 out of 7. They can
Right.
be priority 5 out of 7.
Well, something we done, and I started instituting a couple months ago, is we go out to dinner at least once a week. May not be the finest dinner, but it's me, you, out of this house, away from both our businesses. We don't talk that much about business when we're at dinner.
Technically, the rule was we were not going to talk about business, but unfortunately, it just happens.
It happens. It's the
I
language.
swear to God, we say the words, we're going to go out to dinner, a bat light goes off that says, by the way, they have left the premises with a declaration to not talk about business. Please contact them about.
Yeah.
Like it never fails. Like I get texts for my business. You get stuff for your business. We get stuff for like our like crossovers. Like it's just I giggle. I find it funny. It was like, well, that was a cute plan. But fundamentally we stick to the basics of the idea.
Yeah.
Like,
And
it's not
actually said,
all
I'm going, so how are you? No, how are you? Not your business, not your body. How are you?
Insane in the membrane. That's where I'm at most of the time. That's
That's just
personally,
because you refuse to
professionally.
use your planner.
Refuse? Like, I don't know. After, like, I had a whole plan for this week. I really did.
Again,
Like,
if you do not check in with your planner 15 minutes in the morning, you are not using your planner. I know for a fact your planner is set on your side table all week. Why? Because I picked it up and moved it for housekeeping. And it's
no,
still
it's
where
in my
I set it.
bag. No, it's in my bag. This is how screwed up I am. I am 3 days into December. I have not a fucking thing for December written down yet. Because every time I've had this is what I'm going to do today, something has cropped up.
Well, again.
And the next thing I know, it's like, okay, I'll do that tomorrow. I'll have time tomorrow. And it's like little bunny foo-foo hopping through the forest.
Again, go back to your planner, note it for tomorrow, and say, we'll deal with this new issue tomorrow.
Tomorrow. No, I'm sorry. I'm going to get us like content strike.
Yes, remember we're on YouTube. Do not sing lyrics.
I can't help it. I'm in a musical mood today, all right?
All right. So let's flip it up.
Oh, what are we flipping up?
So, darling, maybe right now would not be the best time for us to go to Hawaii.
Fuck no. If you have a dream Hawaii vacation planned, please stay at home.
I have a dream Hawaii vacation. It's just not, well, it's planned. It's just not funded yet. But apparently there is a rare blizzard warning that has been issued for the big island of Hawaii. With large amounts of snow anticipated, the National Weather Service's urgent warning Friday ahead of the huge storm hitting the state, which generally has tropical climates.
Like, I just can't even imagine Hawaii being a state that's well prepared. Like, I think this is almost, but for, like, all the tropical storms I'm sure they have to deal with and tropical weather conditions, this would be almost akin to, like, Texas being hit.
Well, I think this.
I mean, I'm sure their power grid's a fuck ton better.
Well,
I think
because they don't have Dum Abbott. But 12 inches of snow. Now, this is where I've always pictured us building our dream, or the house we own in Second Life, in real life. That is glass. 12 inches of snow, though.
Yeah.
Like, that's batting down the hatches.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's a lot more than batting down the hatches. That is, I can't imagine, like, like, there's just so many things I can't even imagine with this. Like, that's just not an area built, really. Right. I can't imagine it's significantly built to take harsh winter weather.
Right.
Like severe winter weather, like 100-mile-per-hour wind winter weather. Like, holy, like, I don't even think West Virginia is built for that shit. Like, seriously, a foot of snow and 100-mile-per-hour winds, fuck me, we're gonna die. That's what I heard.
Right.
In West Virginia, 100-mile-per-hour winds and a foot of snow, we're gonna die.
No, we're not.
In West Virginia, even, I think that would be the case. Like, there's going to be some trailers that are going to be picked up, thrown around, and turned into little ice buckets.
Well, that's like, just Friday night at any trailer park around here, honey.
You're not wrong.
Thank you.
You're not wrong.
But no, that's just weird. This is global warming at its finest.
But yeah, this is a warning in place from 6 p.m. Friday to 6 a.m. Sunday, in addition to a wind warning. And travel should be restricted to emergencies. You think National Weather Service. And they give the evergreen advice of, if you must travel, have a winter survival kit with you. If you get stranded, stay with your vehicle, it further warns. I'm just going to say, don't leave home.
No.
Ever.
This is the time you use those beautiful fireplaces, and you put some wood in there. You take those candles out, put some wood in there, light them up, heat that up. I know your house isn't equipped with a furnace. It'll be okay. Hopefully this will be over by Monday.
What are you even talking about? The fireplaces are fake. That's why there's candles.
Well, like, yeah.
Like, it's a look pretty fireplace. There's no outdoor ventilation. Like, what the fuck are they going to do with a fireplace in Hawaii? It, like, 99.99999% of the time. Except for light a candle, toast a marshmallow, and go, whoa, God, it's hot in here.
No, there's a lot of things to do with a fireplace in Hawaii. And yes, most of them are accurate. What I'm more worried about is the Hawaiian population of the homeless. Because Hawaii does have a lot of homeless population, because they do have such avid weather that can aid to the outside living lifestyle. So that causes me more pause. So if you are watching us and you are able, and you're a part of the outside living population, please seek shelter. This is not time to go play at the beach.
Mm-hmm. Well, and currently it's estimated 6 to 12 inches of rain can fall on Honolulu, and up to 40 inches are considered possible in the south and southwest facing mountainsides of the islands.
Yeah.
That's a fuck ton of rain. Like, you're talking about, like, snowmageddon on top of torrential rain.
Yeah.
Like, that's insane.
It is. It is.
Like, That's a lot for. I mean, at least they're surrounded by water, and hopefully everything rolls downhill quickly towards the
Right.
water.
Right.
Like dissipate quickly.
Right.
Granted, I would hope so. Like, I don't know. Like, I'm sure there's parts of like, oh, but doesn't that face a bigger problem though for Hawaii? They still
Mm-hmm.
have active, like, not like active, like massive kaboom volcanoes exactly, but they have
Right.
constant lava flows from at least one or more.
Right.
I wonder if this weather is going to be enough to create a crust on those and potentially lead to a larger eruption.
Right.
I'd be a little
It's a
worried about
possibility. I mean, and there is a possibility of new land being made because of this storm, because of the active lava throws finally being cooled down. So it'll be interesting to be interesting.
that. Yeah, that for sure. I would just really hate that to be like the cause of a horrible event in Hawaii. Like
Very much.
that would be a lot to deal with. Can you imagine that though?
Yeah.
Like you have like a 100-mile-per-hour blizzard with 12 inches of snow in the midst of a torrential downpour and a volcano or a volcanic eruption. Like, fuck Pompeii, this is worse. Like,
Exactly.
I'm just saying, stay indoors and masturbate till it's over. Like, get wild, get kinky, have fun with it. Be sure to leave something for future generations to find and be like, oh shit! What? That's what happened in Pompeii. They literally found people that died with what can only be said as pleasuring themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about, fiddling while Rome burns.
All right. Well, on that note, in other news, we will have a solar eclipse tomorrow during the new moon, which is going to be shifting some things around for four astrology signs that are highly connected to the Scorpion energy, the Sagittarian energy. Those being Gemini. You will be starting a new chapter occurring in your seventh house of relationships and partnerships. The December 21st solar eclipse and new moon could be shaking up your relationships, Gemini. It isn't a bad thing. Rather, you may feel a newfound urge to push ahead confidently in a new relationship. Finally, understanding what you want and how you really feel during the lunar events, think about what fulfillment do you most in a relationship and plan how you can best communicate that with your loved ones. Virgos. Hello, Virgos. Nice to see you. Glad you made it. Virgo, things are getting a little too personal for you with this solar eclipse and this new moon. This lunar event occurs in your fourth house of home and family. And you may find yourself totally reevaluating your relationships with the home and with your family members. Because this is likely hitting you so deeply, it may take some time to get comfortable and safety. What makes you feel safe, secure, and loved, and how you move forward in these areas will be your stability. Sagittarians, hello. I know it's been a busy month. You're now going to have two eclipses, a lunar and a solar, because one always chases the other. So, get ready. The solar eclipse and a new moon happening in your sign means that you're likely experiencing significant shifts related to your sense of self. This is a long-term Gemini Sagittarian eclipse that has pushed your identity to the limits in multiple ways. And during this lunar event, you may feel everything is coming to a head as you really ready yourself to shield old emotions, the thought patterns, and identities that no longer align with your vision of who you are. Take time to reflect on how authentically fabulous your future self looks like. And all our favorites, Pisces darling, I know, here's some tissues. At the end of 2021 won't be anything fun without a little professional action. Now would it, Pisces? December's solar eclipse and new moon is affecting your professional life and image. You may find that whatever straight and narrow career path you found for yourself headed down is flipping upside down, all around, and through the middle. Although this may be even the unnerving, this is all happening for your best interest. You're shooting for something closer to your calling or the field you will most be fulfilled in. You may even find uh, perks better along the way.
Yeah. And for anyone who was wondering why I was making silly faces, Shannon's kid said hi, and that's how I say hi to all children.
Ah.
It's the only appropriate way I find to say hi to children.
Ah.
So, hi.
Silly.
Why?
Yeah. So, hey, we're not getting hit with it, but some of our listeners are. Remember, I will be available all weekend for appointments if you need me. The solar eclipse that has been backed by a lunar eclipse will have effects for the next 6 months. It is your mission to sit down and write 10 goals for yourself that you want this way.
Yes, I call your 16-year-old a child. The law does. And kid, enjoy that, because okay, your mom's going to cut this off before I finish, but do you know there is no such thing as a permanent record? That no one gives a shit after you get to college. No one will know.
All right. So we're getting some comments in. We have Pisces who, Mika G says, Pisces and had words with my boss today. Oh, Lordy.
Oh, Lordy.
Anything special for Leos? Well, Leos are always special, but no, not really. They can kind of sleep this out. No, you cannot give it back.
Leos are always special. Not really. Sorry, that was the phrasing of the century right there.
There's nothing really special for this affecting Leos at this moment.
See, that's better. That sounds better.
Yeah.
Oh, her dad tells all my secrets. She knows that.
Yeah.
Dang it. Oh.
But it kind of does, because if you've had a problem, you may not get into your prospective permanent college that you want. So therefore, yeah, it kind of does affect your future.
Whatever. Nuh-uh.
Uh-huh.
Nuh-uh. Don't do stupid shit at school. Totally stupid shit at school. There are some limits. But, no one cares about perfect attendance. Literally never came up again after I graduated. No one gave a shit about my perfect attendance. Honestly, no one cared about grades really either. It really did all come down to the standardized testing and how you did on that. As long, C's get degrees, that's a reason. They say that shit. C's get degrees. Do you know what they call the guy or the woman or the non-binary person who graduates last in their medical school class? Doctor. It's a little bit scary, but it should make you feel better. There's hope. You can be the worst doctor in your medical school, but as long as you graduate, you're good.
Mm-hmm.
You still get to make money. And
Dark Hythen's mistress says she woke up this morning with a Limp Bizkit song "Break Stuff" stuck in her head. Figured it was going to be a bad day and took some extra meds. So she didn't actually rip anyone's head off at work today and spent most of the day a lot more happier than they'd seen me before. Understandable. Understand, though, that these effects are going to be hitting for 6 months. Make the best of it.
Mad up. I'm just saying, sometimes, you just have to walk into work like, oh, not Cinderella. No, yeah, Cinderella. Oh, with birds and like rabbits and everything else.
That's not
and
Cinderella, that's Snow White. You fell your Disney princess quiz.
No, Cinderella had that too. Who the fuck do you think made that dress?
That was
Uh-huh.
Again, it was Snow White that had the birds singing to her.
So did Cinderella.
Mika G says 6 months, kill me now. Mika, so here's your project for tonight into tomorrow. Sit down and write out your perfect job description. Exactly what you want to happen in that job. Take and post it on your bathroom mirror so you see it every morning. We just want bullet points. Like you work 9 to 5, Monday through Friday, to blah, blah, blah.
And I think Shannon has a point. Didn't Aurora as well? Talking about Disney princesses.
I don't know.
It's a common theme for Disney, okay?
Yeah.
Like, they're all about this, like, witchcraft, animal worship thing. What? Tell me I said it wrong.
Again, I don't know about Aurora. I didn't watch it. So, anybody that's wanting to change something in your life, wanting to change your relationship, wanting to change your job, wanting to change whatever, take a Post-it note. I prefer one with lines. That way it makes nice bullet points. Write out what you want. Stick it on your bathroom mirror. That way you have to see it at least for 5 minutes every day. And as you're doing that, your mind will start vibrating and attracting that.
Mm-hmm. There you go. Mm-hmm. And if anything, keep remembering it's 2021 going into 2022, and a lot of people are leaving shitty jobs or jobs that aren't working for them.
Right.
Like, this is probably the best moment in history to be like, fuck it, I'm out of here. Like, don't go, I'll take this job and shove it.
Right.
Like, don't necessarily go, I'll take this job and shove it.
Mm-hmm.
But don't be afraid to walk out right now and be like, look, this isn't working for me. This is the problem, and you're not going to fix it. So, sayonara. I am gone.
Mm-hmm. Because,
quite frankly, I think that's going to pretty much be a very big defining change in the future. I think we finally broke the limit of how much employees are going to take before they're like, nah, I'm out.
Right. Well, since we are over just on YouTube tonight and LinkedIn, if you're watching from YouTube, you're going to be able to take advantage of a YouTube benefit that we don't normally do because most of our audience are over on Facebook. We're going to be able to open up a poll and you guys get to vote on this next segment.
Oh, fun.
This is our new favorite segment. I'll swipe and you can tell them what the segment is.
All right. So from the bowels of the Reddit, am I the asshole? We bring you tonight, am I the asshole for allowing, in quotes, my wife to wear expensive jewelry to dinner and subsequently embarrassing my brother-in-law? Be careful, as like that title's slightly misleading. It gets better and worse. Like, this is not so bad on the husband, I don't think. So throw away because my brother-in-law uses Reddit. For starters, I absolutely adore my wife. She's my rock and has been an infallible beacon of light for me for this year. I lost my job at the beginning of the year, and when things got tough, she buckled up, got a part-time job to help us stay afloat, and didn't have a single negative thing to say about it at all. I finally got back on my feet again and wanted to do something nice for my wife once things settled down. She's a classic girly girl and loves to dress up, go out, etc. We really cut back this year, so when our finances felt stable, I wanted to splurge on something special for her. I bought her a diamond necklace, nothing too extravagant. We just got out of financial straits. I'm not turning around and blowing money I don't have. It's a single solitaire diamond that, in my opinion, was classy and elegant, but something she could wear on the daily. Cue to Thanksgiving dinner. And my wife wears the necklace to dinner. Her sister-in-law, her brother's wife, I'll call her Mary, notices the necklace and compliments my wife on it. My wife happily tells her how it was a surprise, and Mary agrees that it was a super sweet sentiment, compliments me on my choice, and overall the family thought it was a nice gift, especially knowing that we went through hard times. A few days after dinner, I received a text message from the brother-in-law calling me an asshole for using Thanksgiving dinner to show off and make it all about me. He said that I shouldn't have let my wife wear such flashy jewelry to dinner and upstage everyone else, and that it was super selfish and conceited of us. I was stunned, to be honest, because the necklace discussion only lasted several minutes, maybe 5 to 10, and the rest of the family only had nice things to say about it. They seemed genuinely happy for me and my wife. I'm starting to feel like an asshole because it's true that the family isn't incredibly well off, and something like my wife's necklace would be seen as something very luxurious. My brother-in-law says that I'm now putting pressure on him to get his wife something extravagant for Christmas. On the other hand, though, I don't feel like it's really my responsibility to care about how brother-in-law feels about a gift I got for my wife, and that if he feels pressure, it's not on me. I don't know, was I the asshole for talking about the gift during dinner and allowing my wife, like allowing my wife to wear it? I have a major issue with the way the brother-in-law is phrasing that. Like I just heard that whole sentence as like, you shouldn't allow your bitch to wear that to dinner. And I don't know, that's not like how I heard it, and it was like, ew, that's just nasty. And I'm just sitting here going, dude, one, not the asshole. Two, definitely the brother-in-law's an asshole. I don't think they did anything wrong. I think we all have family members that have a little more than we do, maybe a lot more than we do. I don't think it's inherently wrong for them to enjoy what they have. I think it's horrible if they throw it in people's faces. Like, my husband got me this, and my husband bought me this, and my wife did this. Like, you don't want to sound like the Howls from Gilligan's Island. But if you just have a nice piece of jewelry that you wear, you have a nice piece of jewelry that you wear.
Well, honey, I'm gonna call it like I always call it.
Mm-hmm.
I told you when we got into a relationship, I am a manny man. I love my nails done. I told you when I get to the ability to have finances, just let me know when I can buy me another diamond. And you know that. I work hard. This man works hard. His wife worked hard. By golly, no, he's not the asshole for letting her wear it. And I'll tell you what, you ever tell me not to wear my jewelry, we're going to have a problem.
I might have a couple of moments. Like, you're going to the wrong side of town.
Uh-huh.
Like, maybe not to go out in the middle of the night and buy cigarettes or, like, do laundry. That might be a bad life choice. Like, live long and prosper. Like, that's my goal. But no, I don't think, like, I don't know. Maybe I'm just not normal.
I don't feel that he's the asshole. I feel like Mary is jealous and going, well, he got his wife a small diamond. Why can't you get me a diamond? We're in better situations than they are. Or at least that's what you tell me.
Or moreover, just the, feeling like this sounds again sort of like the last one a little bit. That we were talking about on Tuesday, where it's like these are some materialistic bastards to me.
Right.
That it's like, who the fuck cares?
Well,
Like, I would, like, if you're going around looking like Flavor Flav, I like, okay, I kind of get it.
right.
Like that could be a bit much. Like if you just went from Dire Straits to like, you know, here's your 15 gold chains and like, you know, a ginorma like clock sized diamond, okay, that would be some bullshit.
Right.
But what it sounds like is something that's not all that over the top. Like I'm
No.
thinking we're talking about like a very small necklace piece.
Right.
Like I'm assuming a diamond that's probably less than a half-inch wide.
Right.
Like I that's what I'm saying is like
How many carats did he say?
he didn't. It was a solitaire.
So that's a single.
Yeah, well, yeah, and I got that. I like he didn't say the carat size. He was just saying it wasn't like one. He didn't spend money he didn't really have.
Mm-hmm.
Like he didn't spend money he didn't have.
Right.
You know, it's a single solitaire diamond that, in my opinion, was classy and elegant, but something she could wear on the daily. I
Right.
figure if you're assuming this is daily wear jewelry, like you assume
Mm-hmm.
a lot of things could happen to that.
Right.
So I don't think we're talking about like a $5,000 diamond necklace at
No, we're talking around $529 to $997 for the basic pendant.
Yeah, I would think.
Yeah.
I mean, that's simple diamond jewelry. That's, I mean, it's nice.
Yeah.
It's not like boom. Like
Right.
all women are going to notice jewelry. Like,
Yes.
people are going to notice jewelry. Period.
Right.
I mean, regardless of how big it is or isn't, I don't know. It just doesn't seem like it's that big of a deal.
Yeah.
Like if we're talking about,
So I'm going to
yeah.
end the poll and get the results.
Oh, where is everyone at?
Well, it's 100% majority. No, he is not the asshole. Glad
Awesome.
to see our listeners are agreeing with me. And just for that, for Christmas, I'd get her diamond earrings to match the necklace. Just to be an asshole.
No, I think that's probably going to provoke the brother-in-law. I'm not saying I wouldn't get the earrings. I would just maybe be like you might want to skip those.
Right. Now,
This
baristas,
year.
please take
This
a moment and go into the break room and post if you like having the poll where you guys can share your opinions on it.
Now, I would definitely say if they get invited to that brother-in-law's birthday party, wear the fucking earrings.
Uh-huh.
Then you get to just be like, oh, these old things?
Yeah.
You know.
I know. All right, guys. It's been a great night. It's been a wild night. This is the first night we've had a live stream issue in over a year. Hello, Eclipse. That's cute. But if you do not see us on Facebook, please assume that we are over here. Now, since you are on YouTube, I need to ask you to do the YouTubey things. I need you to like the video. I need you to make sure that you are subscribed because you do get daily videos over here. You also get weekly roundups, and you also get at least one special video that's not a live stream a week. Mm-hmm. So please remember to do the YouTubey things. I know you guys normally do the Facebooky things, but we need
do the share
YouTubey
thing. We really love the share thing, and
we
I'm
really
sure
love
there's that bell icon you can hit and get notified of new content, which I'm sure you'll enjoy that. Like you want it. So anyway, flipping over because we do have Patreon members to thank because we really do appreciate them. Is it a spoiler alert or wait? We told all the
everyone
Patreon.
saw the post already.
Like ho ho ho, that ho was at the post office this morning. Yeah, he dumped his sack out on that counter. It was a whole thing.
Yeah, this was coffee mail. It has finally been sent out. We will see about getting I have other things I want to do for my Patreons. We just have to
Mhm.
see if the Postal Service will stop hating me.
Okay. Why does the Postal Service hate you?
Because I never walk in there with a letter or two.
No.
I'll walk in there with my
No.
witchy tote bag that's 5.5 gallons. Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah, really. Well, it's bigger than that. It's bigger than a 5-gallon bucket. Way bigger than. It's like 2 5-gallon buckets. It's at least 10-gallon.
Yeah.
Like, and it was loaded. Like, it was loaded. I think I heard the seams go, holy crap.
It's a
Like, at
witchy
least
tote
he's
bag.
not dangling us off a broomstick. But, anywho.
Anywho, we want
So,
to
of
thank our
course, we want to.
Patreon supporters. We love you very much.
We do. We want to thank Beverly Walker, Mika G, Kathy, Mary Winfield, Brenda Bryant, Ashley Gish, Shannon C, Shannon D, the ever wonderful Lady Gwendolyn, and Charles Shaw. If you'd like to learn more about us, the show, or how you too can become a Patreon member and become part of our lovely baristas, please visit PCSPnetwork.com. And you too could have been getting a package today. Well, not getting it today, but we would have mailed it today.
Yep. And we will be putting those out every quarter again.
We're trying to get there.
We're going
like
to
that
try
was
to
the
get
intent.
there.
That was the intent. 2021 we sucked. Like,
Well,
let's
that's
just say
because
we sucked.
the person that does the post office wasn't allowed to leave the house for most of 2021.
Yeah. Because I'm not allowed. Here's the deal. He went to the post office today and he came back out kind of sheepishly telling me what he spent. And I'm sitting here going, that sounds awesome, because I would have blown like $250 easily.
I sent you with one astrology report, and he literally the astrology report cost us like $100. He mailed it for $100.
It was less.
No, it wasn't.
No, it was. It was less than 100.
It's like $98.
Like you pointed out, you didn't make any money off of it. Like zero did you actually earn off of it between the paper and everything else. By the time I was done with it, it cost you money to send that one.
Yeah. So he isn't allowed to do it. We're figuring out this whole flat rate ship it and click it, or click it and ship it thing.
Well, you've got it figured out. I go in and grab the priority next day envelope of Doom, and suddenly it's like, that'll be $75, and I'm just like, oh, I fucked up. I fucked up. Get me out of the post office. There's a line behind me. These people will kill me. They all look like they came with pitchforks today. That's every time I go to the post office.
What I'm talking about is where the old post lady has to get out of her Jeep and come walking up to my house and knock on the door and pick up that for me.
Oh, that would be lovely.
Yes.
That'd be lovely.
We're working that out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right,
wait, hold on. I'm confused. Before we end the show, I have to know, I'm sorry, we lost mailman gray sweatpants.
I've only seen the old biddy that won't leave. That won't get out of the Jeep.
I mean, gray sweatpants was fun.
Mm-hmm.
He was my favorite mail carrier.
Uh-huh.
He's fun. He's really friendly.
Oh, yes.
I mean, just in general, he's really good at his job, and he's super friendly, and he doesn't screw up.
Mm-hmm.
And he wears gray sweatpants, and he's kind of rocking them.
Cool. Very cool. All right, guys. We will see you on Tuesday. Bye, y'all.
Bye.
Before the storm, you know what's coming, so be warned. You can't stop me now.